Cheers.
One more time.
You hear that? If we're not having fun, we're not doing it right.
Now we're going to just dive right in here. I've started by, I did a test cut right here in the middle of the stain. And what this was a tear in the Tolex, and there was a little dent in the wood, so I tried to steam the dent out of the wood, which I think was pretty successful there, but got the bulk of the dent out. I'll finish steaming it once I get this out, I think, or maybe just put some wood filler in there. In any case, I tried to steam out the dent. The moisture from the steam, of course, the heat gun and everything I was working on ended up staining the Tolex. So at this point, what I'm going to do is work on just removing that section of stain and patch it with a new piece of tweed. So let's get started here. What I've done is picked certain lines on the tweed here that might be not as noticeable, and try to patch the hole here. I've got some wood patch. Let's see how this works. I just want to get the dent flat so that when we put our Tolex over top of it, once that dries, I'll be able to sand that and then clean up this dried hide glue here to get ready and make my own hide glue. While the wood filler is drying, I'm going to try and match this tweed up with the new tweed. See if I can't get a good blend here. It's pretty difficult to make these cuts with a camera in the way. Alright, so then after we stirred around with our stick, we're going to, this is called the Hold Heat Automatic Glue Pot. Again, I got this from StuMac as well. So You want to get this up to between 145 to 165 is what the recommended temperature is for heating up the glue, and then you want to let that heat for a couple hours. I plugged it in about maybe 10 minutes ago. We're only at about 70 degrees right now, so I'll come back here in about half an hour or so, check the temperature, and then let this set for a couple hours. Then what we will do is turn the heat pot off. We're going to let this set overnight. It's recommended that we wait another day after we mix the glue. So by tomorrow, I should be able to glue this patch on. But with the power of YouTube. Now, for the next step, we're going to sand the wood filler. I have various grits just laying around in the shop. It doesn't have to be too perfect, just nice and smooth, because we are going to be covering it with. What I'm going to do to get rid of the fine particles of dust in here is a real just quick small wipe down of some acetone, being very careful not to spill any on the tweed. Alright, so we've let the hide glue warm up after it sat all night. Of course turned off. It turned to that tapioca looking kind of gelatin, and let it warm up, of course, and now we have this. Got it up to about, I think it was 160 when I pulled it out, so it's still a little bit warm. And what I'm going to do is try and apply the hide glue to the back of the Tolex, the tweed here, as well as put some hide glue on the wood here. And I'm going to go at it using a stinks a touch-up brush I bought at my auto store downtown. And now for the truth. Let's see if we can't get this to look good. Okay. I'm trying to work the corners in. There, get some of that tape on here, I think. Hoping that'll hold it in, and then I can start working around here. I wasn't sure how long this was gonna set up or take, so the hide glue thing is it's all new to me. I wasn't sure if I should have waited for it to get tacky, or even if it did get tacky, but this process I'm so far real happy with. I think it's gonna work good. You know, with putting the glue on both pieces ensured that I didn't miss a spot, or you know, when I was painting it on the magazine over here, it was a little difficult to hold with one hand and try to get the brush on there without moving it, and trying not to make a mess of the glue on the face of it. One thing I like about the tape on the edge like this is you know, constantly keeping that pressure around the seams here. It also ensured that the first bit of tape I put down, after I pulled it off, if there was a little bit of glue residue on the outside, I think it pulled it off. It looked pretty clean. So what I'm going to do now is just go find some stuff to weigh it down, and I'm going to let it set. And then we'll be back for the shellac process. I'm going to go with a bullseye shellac clear. I'm going to try the first coat of clear and see if that doesn't get it close to this color here. If it doesn't, I do have a bullseye amber color, but I think the amber might be a bit much. It does have a darker tint to it, so I'm not too sure about that. With the power of YouTube. Alright, on to the next step here. Going to be putting on some clear shellac to seal the tweed. We've waited a day to let this completely dry. Alright. This stuff has a bit of a Southern Comfort smell. What I'm doing is trying to make sure I get a little bit over the seams so that it soaks in and seals that. Alright, for the third coat, I mixed clear shellac, get it in film here, with the amber shellac. What I did was I poured some clear shellac into this container here, little empty trash container, and then I dipped my paintbrush into the amber shellac, and I did that twice. So I've got about maybe 4 drops of the amber in here, mixed in with the clear. And I'm going to try to represent the same color as the rest of the tweed here if I can, coat by coat. Again, I've been putting a coat an hour on. Now the first coat I let dry for about an hour and a half. Try to do it as thin as possible. The first coat with the amber tint, I'm just going to go over a little bit on the seam here for some blending, hopefully. Not going to be perfect, but it'll be better than what it looked like before, that's for sure. There is one coat with the amber mixed into the shellac, so let that sit. Alright, now we're going to move on to the second coat. Alright, coat 4. Going to use the same mix that we joined together. That's the few drips of the amber mixed in with the clear. Alright, 5th coat. For this one, I'm going to add more of the amber to the mixture. Time for coat 6. I'm going to add more amber to the mix. Alright, now for the 7th coat. I'm going to tape the edges up because I'm going to do some sanding here. A little 220 grit. And what I've done is taken a block of wood and used double-sided sticky tape and put a 220 grit piece of sandpaper on the bottom. Then I'm going to take a clean shop rag, not a napkin, it's a shop rag, and get it damp. You don't want it to be too wet. Pulled up some of the tape that I was sanding. Okay, now I'll pull this up. It's still a little bit lighter than the rest of the tweed. We're going to go and darken the shellac just a little bit more. I know on the camera it's really tough to, because you're getting the angles right. If I turn this off here. It's starting to get close. So I mixed a little more of the amber shellac into the already pre-mixed clear that I had in here for the, I'm hoping, final coat here. And before I sanded anything, I wanted to show you a bit of a close-up here so you can maybe compare, because it's hard to see in the lighting how the different colors are. You can see the new that I've just done here is it's like a yellowish color, where this appears to be more of a tanner color. But I'm going to sand it. I'm going to sand it, and I've got a magic eraser, one of these guys, and after I sand it and clean it, I might touch it up with that, and I'm thinking that might take care of some of the glossiness. Alright, so what I'm trying to do here is get rid of this, like this area here is really shiny, and of course this area is not, the existing tweed. So I tested a little area here with one of these little brass brushes. Yeah, there we are, right there. And this seems to be taking that sheen off of it and almost blending the two pieces a little bit better, I think. And then I think what I can do is go over everything once I'm done with a clear coat of lacquer over a wider area, and that might blend it a little bit better. I mean, you're always going to see that there's a patch here, but I'm just hoping I can get the colors to be closer. Give you guys I'll show you the little better camera angle as soon as I get done here and I can move it around. And I think a lot of what happened was I put too many coats on mine, and it built up almost too flat. What I'm doing here, and it seems to be working a little bit, is taking some denatured alcohol, the stuff I've been actually just washing my brush off in, and just to take a little edge off, I'm running this over top in hopes that it might blend it in a little better. Alright, I'm going to let that dry. We're going to see how that turns out. And then what we might do is put another thin coat of clear lacquer over everything. We'll see what that looks like when it dries. It's my first time trying to patch a tweed cabinet of any kind. I couldn't get all the lines to line up. No matter what I did, the tweed just wasn't it wasn't stretched right. I think the tweed I put down had one extra line once I cut the patch out. Alright, if that is had a chance to dry up a little bit, I'm going to take clear shellac at this point and do a little bit over everything, and then I'm hoping that this will be the last coat and that it blends everything in well.
Hey John,
What's up, Nap?
that was some fascinating information you gave me on that Tuesday Gear Day video.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, I really appreciated that.
You're welcome.
You know, I find those to be really handy.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody else thinks that.
If you do, you should subscribe.
Right here.
And here's some more videos for you.
Don't forget to bell it, yo. Cheers!